Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Fish Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're not doing great. Don't look at that streak. I just recorded a daily, and I've been having a lot of issues with my hardware, so we're gonna see how it goes. The thing I'm not having an issue with, however, is my microphone. I love it. It's got this built-in monitor, right? So I just plug my headphones straight into the back of the mic. Oh, two of the same pill, huh? We farted on him. We got him. Why would you wait? Really enjoying it. I hope it's coming through in the video with the same quality that I'm hearing it with. I am compressing it just a little bit so that whenever I'm leaning backwards and forwards, I'm not absolutely blowing the limits away, messing with my levels. Right now I'm peaking just under a clip. I don't want a clip. That's bad. And I'm also trying to play like the last episode, trying not to waste any shots. That's good. But also, sometimes you just have to shoot your shot and see if it hits. All you guys out there that ask out every girl that you've ever seen, please don't listen to what I just said. Just stop. Go. He's done it. And open the shop at the same time. We don't want this. We'll come back. So how's everybody doing? This will be coming out on Sunday morning. Sunday's a good day. Usually a short day at work, because we are not open for as long on a Sunday. Hint, hint. I'm not going to say where I work, not specifically because I think I'm going to create an issue with myself, because I don't want anyone else to create an issue. I'll never speak bad about my job. I do enjoy it just fine. I've worked many different levels in this job. I get compensated well, definitely, for the work that I do. Now, in the last episode I was talking about being an artist. Part of that is people who are successful in art put in 100% effort to everything. Okay, so let's say they make their own reeds. They play a reed instrument. Those people are putting in 100% effort every single time they make a reed. I'm 100% serious every time. That sounds like a little bit ridiculous of a commitment. Then maybe you're not doing what you want to do. Because if you were, believe me, you would say, well, do people like halfway do it? Right? So the guys that I work with have been debating it a little bit. They're confused about how much time I spend trying to produce or record or come up with new video ideas. And what they tell me is, and there's one guy that I work with that streams as well. I'm not going to name any names. I actually work with several people who stream, so they may not even know. Whoever you are listening, thank you for listening, but it's probably not you. If you're out here supporting my content. But they told me they just do it as a hobby. But if it ever becomes a big deal, that'd be great. I said, well, maybe it never will, if that's your attitude towards it. I mean, what do you guys think? Not specifically about me making YouTube videos, because here's the thing. This is, for me, really fun. That's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it as a hobby, because that part is like posting them is not fun. Creating the content is, producing is, interacting with the new hardware, with the software, becoming more knowledgeable is. I love learning things. I actually talked about that in one of my first episodes. Learning new skills, that's like, if somebody gives me a manual on how to do something, it's like the greatest gift I could receive. And my dad's the same exact way. I'm a little more flexible. I can watch a YouTube video and learn. Ooh, book number 2. but you give either of us a textbook on something, and we're gonna come out of it like absolutely mastering that skill. Speaking of parents, we have Mother's Day coming up very soon. Does everybody have plans out there to at least talk to your mothers? Just curious to know. It's not like you have to. You're not obligated to. Some people will say that just because you're family, you're obligated to do certain things. Well, I think you choose the people that you cherish, for sure. I mean, nobody would get married if you only took care of your family, right? Because they'd be spending their, all their time devoted to people they were born with, and not necessarily with the people they had chosen to spend their time with. Anyway, and it looks like summer's rounding out here. My wife just graduated from getting her master's at Western Michigan University. Today would have been her commencement. Obviously, because of everything that's going on, she wasn't able to walk, so it was a little disappointing, but we were checking it out. She saw that someone had done a commencement in Animal Crossing. And it absolutely blows my mind how popular that game is. Which is great. Good for you, Nintendo. That's crazy. Oh, gosh. It's so hard to resist Guppy when you've got this much HP. Can't do it. We got unlocks coming like crazy. I should have given up one more. Yeah, that seems absolutely insane to me. Now, I will say I've never really been into farming simulators. I've never been into very passive games like that. I did play Viva Pinata, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I feel like Viva Pinata's a little more sandboxy. I think maybe it's just because I've never given it a chance, but it's not my kind of game. Games like that, games like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, I know is basically exactly the same as Stardew Valley. I can't get into it. And I've tried. I've even played it with the same group that I stream with, which is a group that I do like playing with very much. But you know what? Not every game is for everybody. This game, probably not for a lot of you. And that's fine. Hopefully you're not here for the game. Because I'm very bad. I'll take this. No idea what it does. If you do know, tell me in the comments. Because it'll be a cold day in heck before I pull up the wiki. I don't need to know what all these crazy trinkets do. I just wait for curved horn and pick that one up. Whoa. Block 'em, boys. Okay. So I'm speaking a little bit more quietly than I usually do on my YouTube channel because generally I have to shout to get my voice through on the headset that I was using. Oh, thank you. Continue. Please give me that item that I just unlocked. It never stops, does it? Hopefully you're not here for the gameplay. Hopefully you're here for the commentary. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create kind of a community around the content, around caring. I know, hahaha, internet boy cares. Yeah, sure. I think there's a lot of missing sincerity, and in my interactions daily, that's my impression is that people are very insincere. And I'm not talking about, oh, compared to the olden days. No, just in general. I like to sort of study people's communication. I like to study the way people interact. And what they provide to each other in the relationship sense. And I'm not talking about romantically, but just interpersonally. And I think people are very reserved, at least here in the United States, very reserved about sharing their feelings. So let's work on it. Okay? From now on, try starting more of your sentences with I. And I think you'll find that people will understand you a lot better. They're able to connect with you a little more freely. If you start more sentences with I feel, or I think, and get rid of the disclaimer. Right? Don't get offended whenever somebody tells you that they feel like you offended them. Right? And don't be snarky about it. I've heard people take this kind of advice and go, well, I feel like you're a baby. A little crying baby because you don't like the way that I said that. That's not what I mean. Ooh, this is gonna be boring, I'm sorry, but you can't pass up pause button when you have an orbital. Blast them. Oh my gosh. We're guppy. And we're only losing 1 HP. I feel like we're getting some like disproportionately high guppy transformations. It's probably because this is a new save file, so you only really have good items in the game right now. Like, I don't know the last time I saw Tractor Beam on the Switch and I had it immediately on that daily. Now, yeah, I know dailies are seeded, so it's probably just programmed in, but pretty cool anyway. Let's see if we can't game for a secret room. Here? No? Here? No? Here? Yes. For 3 pennies. 3 bombs for 3 pennies. What a trade. So let's get out of here. Go to the next floor. We're looking at 12 minutes out of the caves to 1. It's not a great time. We have to make up about 3 minutes. We can do it though. Now that we're guppy, we have no problems. High speed, pause button. We're gonna game this. Oh, we have flying. There's certain parts of these transformations that I don't really register sometimes. That is incredible. Well, speaking of games that everybody likes, I know Animal Crossing is kind of the most popular genre going around right now. But if you think you have strange tastes in video games, let me know what you like. Maybe you like civilization builders. I think that might be a huge genre coming up. Games like RimWorld. If you've never played RimWorld or seen somebody play, I highly recommend you check out some gameplay. It's more sandboxy than it is civilization buildery, but purely in the way that the game generates artifacts and generates events. Basically, you're building a colony, like a survivor colony. There's a ton of events, a ton of tech trees. You have to constantly defend your base from lighting on fire. You have to set up for food storage for the winter by configuring air conditioning units to keep one room extremely cold. It's very detailed, very cool game. Check it out on Steam. Let them know I sent you. It's not gonna get you a discount. It won't do anything for you. but it'll make you sound like a cool guy. Oh, should have used it this room. We'll go ahead and do it now. Oh, the flies are gonna extremely strong whip. Oh, there you are. And having Sackhead, it's gonna give us access to a lot more batteries than we usually would. Maybe you like racing games, or wow, I feel like we get B10 constantly too. It'd be like racing games. I actually used to play the heck out of Burnout. Maybe that's not a big game anymore. I don't even know if it's still made. I think Forza is the hottest game right now in the racing genre. Sports games, I'm sorry. I don't understand any part of it. I'm not knocking you. I just don't get it. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe here. Yeah, it's there. Please. Game it. Okay. Give me some sweet, sweet bags. So anyway, when we were talking about brainstorming, I was talking about setting goals as well. The one thing that I think is super important is to break it down. So let's say you have a goal of losing a certain amount of weight or learning a language. So I think a lot of people set goals like those pretty commonly. That's a very common New Year's resolution. So let's say that. As far as weight loss goes, what can you control? Because that's always the first thing. You don't want to start setting goals centered around parts of whatever activity you're involving that you can't control at all. Because you're just setting yourself up for failure if you're going, well, here's what I want to control is how many pounds. That's it, just how many pounds. That's not realistic. But what can you control? Well, what's involved in weight loss? Calories. And that's basically it. You can boil it all straight down to calorie intake and outtake. And that's it. Now, of course, hey, thank you. There's some other factors, right? Genetics play a part, and I'm not downplaying that. I'm just giving advice. So, let's say that's what it is, right? You need to figure out how many calories you're intaking right now and how many calories you're outputting right now if you're at a stable body weight. Let's say you overeat a little bit, but you're stable, okay? So you weigh 30 or 40 pounds overweight, and you're eating 3,000 calories a day. That, at your current activity level, is a body weight that your body can maintain based on that level of calorie input. And then you need to figure out what you can easily cut out of your diet, right? So if you drink a lot of soda, that's going to be the first thing that I tell you. It's don't do it, man. Soda has about 1 million calories per serving. That's metric calories. And it's one of the easiest things you can cut out of your diet to lose weight, especially if it's only a little bit of weight that you're overweight at your current calorie intake. Because if you can cut out 400 calories a day, you're talking about a pound a week that you could lose, right? Because a pound of fat has 3,500 calories. So if you can lose 500 a day, and that's not necessarily just diet. You could just burn 500 calories a day extra in working out. Now, a lot of you, maybe not a lot of you, some of you are going to hear that and go, oh, that's not much working out. I work out 5 times that every day. Okay, well, great. Good for you. But for the average person, that's a long workout. I don't know if you've ever stopped and gotten on an exercise bike just to test it out. Just to see how long it takes to burn 100 calories. But that's several minutes of extremely intense bike riding. I'm gonna re-roll it. It's not good. Excuse me. Thank you. So it's much easier, I think, if you cut out a 300 calorie soda and do a 200 calorie workout on top of what you're doing. Okay, so, and then on top of that, maybe you take the elevator up to your apartment every day. Well, you could probably add 100 calories to your output every single day just by taking the stairs. Even if it's just a couple flights. How many times do you go in and out of your house? Maybe once or twice a day. So if that's 4 times the number of flights of stairs you're doing, and I'll say again, do the math, man. If you're on a bike, it does take significantly more work to achieve the same calorie output. For sure. Why did you do this? But on stairs, it doesn't take nearly as long, especially considering the higher your body weight is. So if you do consider yourself overweight, if you do have a goal much lower than your body weight, if you start doing the stairs now, it's going to have a bigger benefit to your joints. You're going to burn more calories than later after you've burned off some of that weight. Now here's the other thing. You don't want to set a goal that's too steep. Like, you don't want to set up a goal to lose like a pound a day. That's crazy. And only doable if you're already extremely overweight. Right? But you need to find out what's sustainable and what's healthy. So let's go over to my other analogy. I was talking about learning a language too. And again, I'm not a professional or anything, but I feel like you can set a goal like this, okay? If you learn, let's say, 3 words a day. Okay? Just 3. And this is where it's important to set a time limit. But if you're just learning 3 a day, after a year, how many words have you learned? Now, again, from sort of learning a language, I know that it's not all about vocabulary. Eventually, you're going to have to do more than just learn the words. You're going to have to learn syntax and grammar, and you're going to have to learn conjugation if you have that in the language, which we're sort of blessed with in English by having very little, you know. You add ed to the end, it's all of a sudden past tense. We've got a few words that are weird. But romantic languages, man, the conjugation's what it's all about. They're extremely conjugal. I don't know if that's the right way to use that. But here's the deal. Maybe you learn more than 3 words a day. Maybe you set your goal at 5 words a day, which could totally be reasonable. Depending on the language. You're not going to get 5 every day. You might have days with 1, you might have days with 3, you might have days with 10. You know, if you're learning conjugations, you might learn every single form of that conjugation in a day, because you already know the form that these conjugations take and whatnot. So anyway, the whole point of it is you have to break it down into something that's manageable, something that's repeatable and achievable. I know it sounds like I'm just using like buzzwords. Thank you. We're going to use it. And fight greed, obviously. That is amazing. All of our money is worth twice as much now. So in essence, we've got 166 cents. Nice little chain reaction. So, and you can apply that to any goal, I promise. Unless your goal is, well, it doesn't really matter what your goal is. Okay? You are going to be able to break it down. Maybe your goal is, I want to get my PhD in pharmacology. Great. One day at a time. Break it down as much as you can. Hey, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you're gonna have to break it down further than that, probably, because not only is that physically demanding, but it's very mentally demanding. So you're gonna burn your brain out very quickly. Unless you break it down into 12-hour segments, sometimes 8-hour segments. If you've watched anything about extremely successful bodybuilders, you know that those guys sometimes do operate their days in 8-hour segments, where it's 4 hours of sleep, 4 hours of work. Or 4 hours of sleep, 2 hours of eating, and 2 hours of work. Because those guys are applying it to an extremely high degree. And I will say, and this is just my take on it, but the more fine control you can exert over your goal, the more successful you're gonna be. So for me, right now, I'm trying to create a successful platform on YouTube and on Twitch, and right now that involves achieving a certain number of followers every day. I have a goal for a number of followers. Now on YouTube it's a little bit different because I don't have the same time constraints on YouTube that I do on Twitch, right? Every single minute that I broadcast on Twitch, I'm getting analytics, basically. On YouTube, I make the video and I put it out and it's gone. Maybe this is a little too inside baseball for a lot of you. Sorry, I think I'm peeking. Maybe this is a little too inside baseball for a lot of you, but that's exactly how it works. Is you make the video, you put it out, and then YouTube later will say, well, you know what, just wait a while and we'll tell you how it did. But we can't tell you immediately. Twitch will tell you minutes after your stream, hey man, this is what you did good and this is what you did bad. And sometimes it sounds like a broken record because there's a lot of things that go wrong with every stream. Like I have hardware errors here, I have hardware errors there, and a lot of it is inexperience. I will agree. I just don't know. I haven't really been a Twitch consumer before, so it's all new to me. The whole app is new. Now I have been a YouTube consumer, so I know what it's like. I know a lot of you are answering my questions out loud. Whenever you watch it, if you watch it, instead of feeding the dialogue and creating a comment, and I totally get it. I got one guy out there who pretty consistently comments every time he watches the video, and I do totally appreciate it. You know who you are. That just felt right. But it was wrong. So on a lighter note, we went grocery shopping today. I know people love grocery store anecdotes, so let's talk about it. Today is Saturday, the day that I'm recording. Look at this. Let's speed us up. I thought the grocery store was going to be incredibly busy. A fool. But we stopped going to very large grocery stores. Not necessarily on purpose, but it wasn't accidental. You know, we tried out the store with intent to find a new place to get our groceries. The prices aren't great. I'll tell you that much. That's kind of the premium that you pay to get that sort of tailored experience. They do have a wider selection. A lot of stuff that we particularly like. They have a better ethnic food section, which we do shop pretty hard. And we had been going to another like import grocery store before that was okay, but their selection was very limited as well in a different way. It was almost too far away from what we were used to, right? Hey, you want to get some freeze-dried whole fish? Go there. If you just want a can of gochujang and you want to get some adobo powder at the same time, the place we're going now is great. So anyway, we're shopping through the store, and we had the strangest interaction when we first walked in, right? We're all trying to social distance as much as we can. So my wife and I are wearing masks. We're not wearing gloves because gloves only work if you change them very often. I work in food preparation, so that's exactly how it works. And I know it's the same in the medical field. It only works if you are constantly changing them. We will take this. Thank you. So, when I see people with really, really, really dirty and grimy gloves, it always gives me like a little bit of the chills. Grosses me out a little bit. Because those people are just spreading bacteria to everything. They've got an absolute cocktail of potentially harmful organisms living on their hands. Come here, my son. Wow, this makes pause button kind of suck. Play. Yeah, this is much better. So when we first walked in, there were these two middle-aged women standing in the entrance vestibule, right? Just chatting. But one of them was standing directly in front of the row of carts. There's only one row of carts because it's a pretty small grocery store. It's not like your Schnucks or Town & Country or Walmart or Meijer or Costco or anything like that. It's very small. And I have a couple of carts, and we needed a cart because we haven't been to the grocery store in like 2.5 weeks. My wife and I we're smart about what we shop for. We're getting only base ingredients, and we make all of our own stuff, so everything lasts for a really long time. Nothing's processed. Pre-processed, put it that way. Because we do eat processed food. We're not paleo or anything. Just crack 'em. So we needed a cart, and these two women were standing directly in front of the carts. So I was a little bugged, but I'm pretty patient, so I was gonna just stand there, patiently watch them. I was looking directly at them, but I don't think that's rude or anything. I don't think I should have like averted my gaze in order to not offend them or anything. I was just waiting for what I was there for. So, maybe 15 or 20 seconds. And that doesn't seem like a long time, but I dare you, the next time you walk into a store, walk in and then just stand in the entryway for 15 seconds. Count them out. That's an incredibly long time. Alright, help me out. To just be standing there. They noticed us waiting. I said, "Excuse me." And the woman standing directly in front of the carts reaches up to pull her mask down and says, "Oh, sorry." Come on. Totally negating the mask now. I just thought that was a little funny. I've seen a lot of people wearing masks because it's required at my place of work to even walk in the door. Not for shoppers, but for associates. Oh my gosh. We could have been a super mega guppy. But I see people wearing masks in a very strange way. But they're not paying attention to how they put it on. They're putting it on under their nose, or they're putting it on, above their mouth. I've seen... It just comes across as really strange to me. That they're wearing it for posterity, and it's definitely only for posterity. It's not there for anything else, I guarantee you, because there's no way it can do anything else. But then they reach up and move it because it's inconvenient to talk a little louder or to listen a little harder. It's crazy. It kind of grinds my gears. I don't know about any of you, but it burns me up every time I see somebody reach up and pull their mask down. I know, they're uncomfortable. I don't love wearing a mask. I do have a custom mask that was made for me by one of my best friend's fiance, soon to be wife. Whoa, excuse you. Alright, we're gonna freeze you. And just get in there. Let Meat Boy do all the work. He's gonna take you down, Satan. And we're gonna watch. Alright, we're gonna speed it up a little. Okay, he's done. Now for the hard part. One touch. Oh my gosh. Punching bag is gonna ruin this for us. They're so unpredictable. We've done it. And we've unlocked the negative. Well, hey everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you did enjoy the video, please click the like button. Consider subscribing to my channel for more content, leaving comments whenever you have advice or answers to any of my questions. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.